Powerful politicians and unsung donors. Honors are quite often bestowed upon people in power. Whether they deserve the honor or not is immaterial. What matters is the power they wield. Those who bestow the honor have some expectations from those honored. Sometimes I feel that there should be no honors at all because beneath every shawl and garland there is an application. The Infosys Foundation built an annex to an existing government hospital in one of the states where we work. The hospital was in small town and our foundation had no interest there other than helping the poor. It was a very backward area. The inaugural function was held on the hospital premises. The chief guest was the health minister of the state. I had requested the function coordinator to arrange it in the morning because if things got delayed, I would still be able to drive back safely. I do not like the idea of traveling alone by road at night. But the coordinator could not oblige. A morning function was not convenient for the chief guest, so the inauguration was fixed for 7 in the evening. The dais was arranged with quite a number of chairs. There were a dozen or more garlands of jasmine, sandalwood and marigold. Varieties of shawls and baskets full of colorful fruit kept on the dais for distribution. There was also a silk sari in a box, probably an expensive one. They clearly had spent a great deal of money on all these things. In the kind of welfare work I am engaged in, we don't expect much from the beneficiaries. When they say a few good words about our work, we feel a sense of satisfaction. Often these words are the inspiration for our next job. It also means that the beneficiaries appreciate our donation. I sat there thinking about how grateful the people were, how they were honoring us because we built a hospital for them, and how graceful their culture was. The breeze was cool and the crowd kept getting bigger. The minister arrived an hour late and the people rushed to touch his feet. Some people came running with applications. Soon it was like a mini darbar. The function finally started. I was given a corner seat on the dais. There were plenty of speeches describing how efficient the minister was, how great his leadership was, and how fond he was of his fellow man. Under his able leadership, a new hospital building had been added by a donor. In all those speeches, there was not a single mention of the donor's identity or even the hospital. It was all about the minister and the government. The minister then rose to inaugurate the building. He said he had great faith in democracy and that he cared for his people immensely. He wanted this annexed to the hospital because he was concerned about the people's health. He said that he was still not happy because the hospital required more facilities. Then he turned to look at me and said, "Madam, we expect fans, beds, cupboards, linen, drinking water facility, and so on for the entire hospital. I am sure you people will be able to provide these. I assure you that our people will make the best use of these." I did not answer. Then came the most important part of the ceremony, that of honoring the people who had helped to build the hospital. It was followed by the national anthem. Then the function was over. The minister rushed back to his car and everyone ran behind him. Soon the whole area was deserted. Crushed flowers were strewn around the dais except for the pandal area. It was pitch dark outside. I stood there with a faded garland and my handbag. I was all alone, like a goalpost after the match. In front of me was the illuminated new building erected by our foundation. I was by no means the only one who had put in hard work. There were architects, artisans, trustees, and several others. None of their names had been mentioned. There was no time for them or for our foundation. I was clearly an unwanted guest and had been called only for formality's sake. I was feeling quite depressed about the whole evening. I wondered why they did not even have the simple courtesy of caring for a lady, especially one who had come from far away and represented a charitable organization. Look at these people, I said to myself. This health minister had in no way contributed time, money, or resources for building this annex. He was not even aware that it was being built. But he saw to it that he was honored and praised like a hero. He was garlanded the most. Was it just politics or was it moral corruption? I reminded myself that the ultimate aim of our work was not to please ministers, politicians, rich people, or people in power. Every effort of ours was aimed at improving the lot of suffering people. Not the minister, but the poor people were the ones who mattered. My depression did not last long. An old lady in tattered clothes came up to me and said, Amma, someone told me that our company has built this building. We are very grateful to you. Many people like us never get admission in the main hospital because of lack of space. But you have given us a common space with no special wards. Special rooms will always be used by people with connections. For people like us, common halls are better. Then she took a step closer to me and said, I don't have anything to give you. I am just a flower vendor. I cannot afford a shawl or a sari, but I can give you this string of jasmine flowers with love and affection. I pray to God that many people like you should be born in our country. That string of jasmine was more precious than all the shawls and fruit baskets.